Hey, dear friends. I'm Renee McLaughlin, and today I just wanted to answer a question that I've been getting a lot, and it's a great question. The Daily Health System was launched out to everyone on May 17th, and from the beta launch till now, oh my goodness, the results have just been so wonderful. And the question, though, that I'm getting a lot is so, Renee, what happens once I lose my weight? Do I have to stay on these products forever? Because we know with some of the other weight loss drugs, etc., they're recommending that you stay on forever. Or if you go off, there's that tendency to gain all your weight back and more. And I would love to just give just a pat old answer, either a yes answer or a no answer, but just a pat answer and move on. But you know what? This is really a great question. And I wanted to go a little bit deeper to really answer the question in a way that makes sense and that you can get the appropriateness of it for your situation. So, first of all, the daily health system is really designed as a metabolic health system. Okay, it's not a weight loss product per se, it's a metabolic health system. So, my very first question, or maybe I should say a comment, is what science has now shown is that around, oh my gosh, it's probably like 95% of all Americans have some form of metabolic dysfunction. And most of us are completely unaware of it. So if I would say to somebody, hey, do you have insulin resistance? Do you have some blood sugar issues? People would go, oh, no, not me. I've been tested. I've gone to the doctor and I'm completely normal. But what does normal really mean, right? So I like to go a little bit more with different side effects or symptoms, if you will, of this. In other words, are you somebody that is just cannot, no matter what you seem to do, lose that torso fat, okay, the belly fat, number one. Number two, do you just feel like you have a lot of brain fog going on all the time? That's a metabolic health function symptom, if you will. How about a lot of systemic inflammation? Now, that can be caused by a lot of things like infections, etc., but it is also a side effect of metabolic dysfunction. How about like in the afternoon, 3, 4 o'clock? Are you just like, oh my gosh, I've got to take a nap? And while we know that 20-minute naps are really great for your health, you don't want to have to take them because you're just crashing. That's a metabolic issue. Really poor sleep, metabolic issue. Maybe you even have different hormone imbalances. Well, metabolic issue is all about balancing your hormones. And there's so many hormones that are involved in all this. So I'm just getting all the way back to the point that most of us do have this. And we think, especially when all of a sudden we hit, say, perimenopause or some hormonal kind of plateau place in our life, that, oh, it just showed up just in 2 days. But that's not how metabolic dysfunction happens. It really happens over time. So you have to kind of take a look at, maybe you were somebody who back when you were in your 20s could eat, they say, oh, I can eat anything I want and it just doesn't matter and I can get away with it. Or, we would eat whatever we wanted to and then starved and exercised really fast and then that would work. And then all of a sudden, those things aren't working anymore. And why? Because over time, those habits have allowed the body it's always trying to maintain homeostasis, right? So it's always working to try to balance that blood sugar. And when we're having these kinds of lifestyle issues, after a while, it kind of loses the fight and we become insulin resistant. Now, from a weight loss standpoint, because that's what I know just about everybody, no matter what I say, that it's really about your health, we go right back to, yeah, but what about the belly fat? And I get that. But here's the situation with the belly fat also. There's so many other things that cause that. So we start to get into hormone imbalances, right? And one of the things that happens is we are stressed out. I mean, let me ask you, are you pretty stressed out? Most of us are stressed out. And let's just ask how our stress level was over the last few years. This is ongoing stress that doesn't stop. And that means we have elevated cortisol. Cortisol's a hormone. Here we go with hormones. And when your cortisol is high, your insulin's high. So that's why we always say if you want to lose belly fat, you got to reduce the stress. It's just one more of those five prongs that we have to take a look at with this whole system if we really want to heal our metabolic dysfunction. So I'm only saying all that to say that it's a whole thing and it's taken years to get you to where you're at now. And so to think that you're going to take a couple of supplements and, in 2 weeks, all the belly fat should go away. Well, geez, you know what? It's happening to some people, but it might not be happening to you because you might be having a lot more insulin resistance. And that's what it's called when the cells aren't able to really take in that blood sugar and lower the insulin. Now, here's a fact: you cannot burn body fat for energy, because that's all fat is. It's an energy source until you're able to get that insulin down. High insulin levels will never allow you to burn body fat. All right. So we're going to take everything that I just said and let's bring it right up till now. Okay. So you start to get on the system. Now, the system was designed to help you with many of these different facets of metabolic health. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, the transform, which is that proprietary enzyme blend that brings down, that modulates your blood sugar. It takes sugar out of the system and turns it into fiber. So we call it the sugar to fiber. And that's a very simplistic explanation. But essentially, it's designed to avoid insulin spikes and drops. So right now, we're working on blood sugar modulation, right? Now we added the Activate, and the Activate has these beautiful synergy of botanicals and vitamins and minerals and amino acids. And what they're designed to do is to allow your body to actually secrete more of what's called GLP-1. We're familiar with that term because our body secretes it naturally, but over time, insulin resistance, GLP-1 resistance, it's a neurotransmitter, it's a messenger. You're going to allow the body to get more. So it's working on that appetite control. Now, it also has polyphenols and specific botanicals that also increase your AMPK. So that's a master metabolizer. And what that's going to help us do is help our bodies now that we've modulated the insulin, start to burn body fat for energy. So now we're getting that body composition change. And this is the reason that you're going to see a lot of before and afters and testimonials like, oh my gosh, like the weight's not dropping, but all of a sudden I can fit into my clothes better. This is why I always tell people when you start, take pictures of your back, because the back is really going to show you where your body is now changing body composition. Okay. You want to speed that up. You want to do more movement, but specifically resistance training. Why? Because muscle is much more metabolically active and it really keeps the system going. And that's also what the Activate will help with. We also have amino acids to just help with cardio metabolites. So it's a vasodilator. We're able to get these nutrients deep into the cells. It opens everything up. So you get that boost in that way. So you can see that the two supplements together are there to help us with metabolic health. All right. So now that I did that whole big long explanation, just to say to you, so Renee, will I have to stay on these forever after I lose the weight? And so my answer is probably no. What you're using them for is to help your body heal from the metabolic situation. I might recommend that you keep them with you so that you go off and maybe you don't take them if you're like at a point where you feel, okay, I feel really stable. I've dialed in my nutrition. I've got my movement going. I'm breathing well. I'm meditating, all the things. I'm sleeping well. I'm good. Then go off them. But I would still have maybe a bottle of each So that at a time when maybe you start to feel, you know what, I'm starting to get a little hungry. I'm just noticing maybe that my carb count's going up a little bit higher. I'm just feeling not quite where I was. Then just bring them back in just to help with maintenance and take them back off. So my real answer is no, you shouldn't have to, but I wanted to give a bigger explanation of that. All right. So I really hope that that's helpful. And boy, just enjoy this beautiful product and this supplement line. And remember, it's a complete system. These are tools to help you regain control and balance of your metabolic health. So thanks so much for listening, and you have a fit and fabulous day. See you soon.